You're 2 blocks behind 1st and 2nd.
We have more buildings to clear. You know our orders,
There's
Sergeant.
barely a building left standing or not on fire in your zone, Cole. Is your sector full of Japs?
Questioning my command.
The captain doesn't want anyone falling behind.
Tell the captain we will join him when the job is done.
Just give us the word, Sarge. We'll take care of him. He should be sectioned. That Jap lover's a fucking liability.
We're here to kill Japs, not our own people.
Star-crossed son of a bitch. No one wants to serve under him. He's bad fucking luck.
Can it? We've a job to do here. If I can live with it, you can too.
Well, aren't Cole and Jack just the best of friends from the war? A walk in Elysian fields. Oh, look at this heavy rain bullshit that's happening right now. The origami killer originated in 1947 Los Angeles. Also, I'm pretty sure that's the guy we saw in that one
House
cut
fire.
scene in
Bad
the last
one.
case.
At least 4 Vicks. Get out there and find out what you can. The address is 650 North Hobart.
Yay, more people dead in a fire. It's okay, I'm sure they all thought Heavy Rain was a good game. Nothing was lost. Come on, Biggs.
Need a drink.
Jump into your crappy car, wherever it is. Around here somewhere. There it is, look at this piece of shit. Feel like driving it again. I'll try to take care of it. I immediately almost crashed it.
You hear about Rancho Escondido?
Are we having a conversation, Biggs?
Okay, fuck it. Forget
I'm teasing you, Herschel. Tell me about it.
Well, the new housing development's a couple of weeks from completion. Burned to the ground last night. GIs are ready to move in this weekend. Developer's gonna have some very angry customers.
KGPL to any central unit. Ambulance shooting.
Shame about
any
Chet.
central unit.
The
Identified.
arson desk has been trying to nail that son of a bitch for years.
He's still in custody, Herschel.
Wanna bet? Fella kicked him loose already. Can't hold him for misdemeanor cigarettes and matches.
Talking about that creepy guy who loves fire that we arrested. But yeah, are you telling me that more houses for GIs have burned down? What's up with that? I'm stuck behind a truck and pedestrians. This loser buying flowers for his girlfriend. Out of my way. Love is not as important as I, Cole Phelps. We have arsons to solve or something. But yeah, what is going on with Cole and Jack's history? Cole seems to not be all that popular with the former Marines, despite the fact he was labeled as a big war hero upon returning. He won the Silver Star. And Cole doesn't like talking about what happened in the war. Well, we know that he kind of pussied out on Sugar Loaf Hill.
Oh,
Whoops.
for God's sakes.
I'm sorry, Herschel. I've had one too many cherry Sprites. I have a problem. Are these guys transporting oil? Fuck your GMC trucks. We're almost there anyway. I think. I don't know. The flag has become very elusive. Los Angeles is a big city, even in 1947. Ah, there it is. Out of my way, I'm Cole Phelps. Ah, the Suburban Redevelopment Fund. I'm sure we're done dealing with that. Look at that big establishing shot. Holy crap. Shove it in my face, why don't you? Look at Mal. He's just like, gotta tell Cole Phelps about more dead bodies. Well, I'm gonna avoid you for now. I'm gonna poke around over here. We got an Insta heat heater.
Looks like the same model.
Reginald Varley. Makes you think we didn't arrest the right guy. Ooh. They had a basement.
This is the flashpoint. The heater detonated with enough force to expose the foundations.
I think that's a basement anyway. Why else would there be a bicycle and a tricycle in it? Listen, I don't know a lot about Los Angeles area homes built in the 1940s, but when I think of basements, I usually think of like Northern America, like the cold half of America. We don't usually see basements down here in the South, especially not where I live. I've never known anyone to own a basement. Alright, let's go talk to Carruthers. He's probably really mad that I kept him waiting.
You guys better see this. I hope you have strong stomachs.
Oh yeah, that's good advice actually. That family that thinks Heavy Rain is a good video game got it really bad.
You have a name? Morelli, Mike. We recovered a picture of the family. Okay. Anything else? Be honest, I just got here, Phelps. Best you talk to Lynch, he's the expert. Doesn't make any sense. Why aren't they scattered around like the rest of the debris?
I think they've been moved.
Ooh.
I think someone moved them after the explosion and before the fire.
Can you explain that, please?
I'm almost positive the cause of death is asphyxiation due to gas inhalation. Look at the parts of their bodies that aren't scorched. The coloring around the fingertips is typical.
They wouldn't have felt a thing.
I think the fire damage is post-mortem. I think someone moved them into this room after the explosion.
It still doesn't make any sense. Why would you run into a burning building?
Well, maybe you're a crazy psychopath. Look at this heavy metal album cover.
What are they doing?
The prayer effect is from the fire. The muscles and tendons contract.
Neato.
That's what I think. I've seen it all.
There might be other clues around here. Alright, we got a something. Oh, it's a family photo.
You ever think about how many people have died in this world? And how big heaven would have to be to accommodate them bigs?
No, I have not. Show some respect.
God damn. Got told, Cole. Also, heaven would have to be slightly less big if you excluded all the people who like David Cage games.
It's our boy. I think he watches the fires. I think the Sawyer fire went wrong.
So what about the guy we have in jail, Phelps?
We got the wrong guy.
That doesn't explain why he ran into a burning building. What would make anyone do that?
Guilt. For the fires? For his mistake. This guy wants to burn houses, not families. He expects the houses to be empty. He was trying to redeem himself. He probably thought they'd be happier together.
You are one very disturbed individual, Phelps. I know you had it rough lately, but you should start to compartmentalize your thoughts.
You could be right. Can you come up with an alternative explanation?
I'm sure it's the same guy.
Are you telling me that some son of a bitch murdered these people, the whole family, and arranged them here like Cupid dolls?
Might fit, Cole, but I don't think we could ever prove it. There's very little evidence.
There's even less evidence.
Evidence?
Albert, check out the hot water system. Make sure we're dealing with the same MO.
Sure, Phelps. I'll get back to you.
Leave the rest to us, Cole. You better find out what's eating Biggs.
Yeah. Maybe it was that little child crumpling apart.
So something finally got to you.
You want my help, pretty boy? You got it. You keep riding me and you won't be pretty much longer.
We can get this guy, Herschel.
You think you've seen everything, Phelps? I was with the 2nd Marines at Bella Wood. The things that went on in that farmhouse. My own guys on fire, screaming for a way out.
Maybe you shouldn't be working in arson, Biggs.
You're not gonna get this guy. There's gonna be no photos and no citations. We're gonna kill this miserable fuck. End of story. You getting this?
Maybe you shouldn't be a cop, Biggs.
You remember the list from the travel agent?
Sure.
The Morellis were winners too. Their name was on that list.
Christ. We should take a look around, work the neighbors, see what they know. I'll go across the street.
Okay, I'll try this side.
I haven't done this for years.
Okay, I'll immediately not go to the side I was supposed to go to. I want to take another look around here. Okay, nope. Alright, let's check the neighbor's yard.
You don't look like
We've decided that the neighbor is suspicious. Like these footprints next to their tree. Oh, Phelps is bugging out. Look at the footprints, Phelps. There we go. And the cigarette butts, too.
Someone was keeping watch. Looks like they were here for quite a while. Brand looks distinctive. Whoever he was wearing boondockers. I would know that imprint anywhere.
Oh, what am I missing here? Why don't we use another one of those intuition points? Use them or lose them. Oh, there's something on the very far side. Oh, there's the newspaper. I knew there was a newspaper at this house. That's why I kept coming over here. I'm just blind. Housing development burns. Ex-servicemen irate as GI house is raised.
How did you get my number, Ira?
At first I didn't understand you, but now I do.
I'd like you to come back to the clinic.
I'm helping other people now, Doctor.
I think you are confused. You haven't been to the clinic for weeks.
I'm not confused anymore, Doctor. I'm helping people be together.
This world is only temporary. We'll all be happier in heaven.
Why don't you tell me where you are and I can come to you? I think the fires should end now. They have served their purpose.
Oh, the fires are only beginning, Doctor. After the fires, everything will be beautiful and clean.
Everything will be erased. The world will be fresh and new.
I can see my purpose now, Doctor. And you helped me to find it.
Good job, Harlan. Well, there's the lowdown on what's really happening. That Ira fellow's our true arsonist. Also, I went back and got the newspaper I missed, so that's how I'm up to 10 out of 13. So, basically, Harlan Fontaine, being the unscrupulous individual that he is, got this Ira dude to burn down some houses. Remember that old newspaper scene where Ira called him and he's like, "You said the house would be empty!" He was like, Now, the family dying was an unfortunate accident. Well, now that ever since that moment, Ira has the taste of human fire blood, he is now burning down houses left and right. And Harlan Fontaine's like, well, shit, this isn't part of the plan. We're probably going to get in trouble. And that's where I, Cole Phelps, come in. I will get you in that trouble, Harlan Fontaine. I will catch you.
LAPD, can you tell me anything about the fire next door?
Terrible luck. Imagine after having won that weekend away.
What's your name, sir?
Foreman. Dudley Foreman.
Not the same Dudley that punched that one guy off the roof.
Did you see or hear anything that might have...
Look, we were asleep when we heard the explosion.
Why are you being so suspicious? Were you asleep or not?
You didn't like Morelli, did you?
Some neighbors you get along with, some you don't. Guess they should have sold up.
What do you mean?
They're knocking down all these old houses and building a new subdivision for GIs. Morelli was being difficult.
Did you see anyone hanging around the Morelli's home prior to the explosion?
Nope. Can't say as I was looking out, though.
Nope. Can't say I was telling the truth, though.
You sure, Mr. Foreman? There are signs of someone hanging around over there by the fence.
Hey, now that you come to think of it, there was a guy. Kind of tall. Skinny, though.
Anything else?
Orange lumber jacket, a
beat-up hat and no hair. I thought he was the pest exterminator guy who was working around here the last few days. But that guy had hair.
You said someone is knocking these houses down?
Elysian Fields. You must know them. They're billboards. That Monroe character beaming down at you. We've had an offer for the house.
Did the Morellis want to sell?
I don't know.
I think you do know.
Whatever you thought of Morelli, his whole family is dead. They couldn't have all deserved that. I want you to help me here, Foreman.
Morelli was pig-headed. He built the house himself. He didn't want to sell. Stubborn fool was ruining it for all of us.
You said the Morellis had won a weekend away to Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's right. First thing I thought after the explosion was, thank goodness they was away. But then I find out they was still in there.
Who was running the competition?
What? I don't know.
You didn't enter yourself?
I'd already agreed to sell. The competition was an incentive for those who were still thinking about it.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Foreman.
Sure. Hey, if you're interested, I have one of those competition flyers in the kitchen. I could get it for you if you like.
That would be great.
Any luck, Cole?
A couple of things. What did you pick up?
Folded piece of paper. Looks complicated.
Listen to this
call
fucking
it
music
origami.
come in.
Can I take a look?
Sure.
Why, if it isn't origami.
Paper crane. There's a legend about them. You fold 1,000 of these and you get a wish.
Hey, don't break it.
I'm not. I'm unfolding it. It looks like a waybill or a flyer.
For what?
For Elysian Fields.
For Elysian Fields developments.
Oh, I see you already have one.
It's the same thing. Win a trip to Catalina Island.
When did the flyer arrive in your mailbox?
They've been arriving for weeks. This one was in the mailbox when I got home from work yesterday afternoon.
Well, let's find out where this Leland Monroe's office is. He doesn't seem suspicious. Aw, cool hurdle.
I need an address for a property developer. Elysian Fields Developments.
One moment, Detective. The address is 748 North Oxford Avenue, Wilshire. Anything else?
Messages, please.
You have a message. Contact Captain McKelty immediately.
Thanks. Can you put me through, operator?
Of course. Here you are.
Commander?
Leads on the Morelli farm.
We're about to go and visit Elysian Fields Developments.
You're about to do what? Leland Monroe? He's a personal friend of the mayor and the chief. Are you out of your mind? I'm warning you, Phelps.
Commander, we have a line of inquiry.
You have something, you bring it to me. You're hanging by a thread, Phelps. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a report on my desk today.
I understand that you're crooked as fuck,
Kelty has
sir.
warned us off over Elysian.
Makes sense. It's a dead end. We should check out Rancho Escondido.
You know the place?
Sure. Corner of Fountain and Wilton. Let's go.
Oh, that was cool. It just like zoned into my fucking notebook the second he said it. That was neat. We now know that Cole Phelps' notebook works on Esper properties.
KTI Radio.
He should have hit Carruthers' car on his way out. It's a little love tap from me, Carruthers. Let you know that I care. It's almost like the entire department doesn't want us investigating Leland Monroe.
You know, there are times when you really miss a nightstick. There's more religion in the end of a nightstick than in 100 cathedrals.
Look at all these fucking burnt down houses.
I'm not gonna tell you again, sir. Don't tell me when and how I can come and go on my own property.
It is not
This is
safe,
America,
sir.
dickhead.
Now step back, or I'll lock you up for a fray.
Son of a bitch!
Okay,
Well,
already. Had a bad break. But this isn't the answer.
Oh, that was bad. That dude landed right on top of his head. This is for thinking that Beyond Two Souls was a good game, because it's not. Fuck you.
Good thing you showed up when you did, detectives. Those folks were baying for blood.
Okay, then. Let's see if there's anything left to take a look at.
Oh, I know there is. In fact, a really important piece of evidence is on this house somewhere. Maybe it's the next door house or something. Where is it? Oh. Here we go. Boom.
Mortar is like dust. Is that normal in a fire?
You'd expect some shrinkage in the heat, but it looks like the cement barely adhered to the brick. Doesn't appear to be any wall ties either. This thing looks like it was built on the cheap.
That's not good.
If we're paying a visit to Elysian and ruining my career, let's bite the bullet and get on with it.
That's a really important piece of evidence, because now we know that these Elysian field-built houses are crap. They suck. Why is that? Let's go find out.
You know the way. You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Up yours, Captain. We're doing that thing you told us not to do. Well, this is quite a fine pickle we have ourselves in. Let's get to the bottom of why Leland Monroe is such a shady weirdo. We can also see whether or not he acts the same way he looks in all those billboards that are around town. Let's go, Herschel.
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe. Send them through.
See, there's his advertisement.
And that's our cue. Thanks, ma'am.
We've been seeing this dude's face all over the game forever. In fact, since like the opening cutscene.
May I help you, gentlemen?
Why does this asshole need 2 secretaries?
We would like to speak to Mr. Monroe.
I'm afraid it's impossible. Mr. Monroe's schedule is booked weeks in advance.
Cut to the chase, sister. Is he in?
I'm not at liberty to reveal that, officer.
So he hired you for your intelligence?
I find that offensive.
You have every right to.
This is getting us nowhere, miss.
Casino.
Would you like us to return with a warrant?
That won't be necessary, gentlemen. Come into my office.
He's right there in the next room with the
like
massive
a
open
cigar?
door.
Drink, boys.
Sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs.
And for some reason, it's a little less offensive when Biggs does it than when Rusty would do it.
We're investigating a series of domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boys. How can I help?
You can help by telling us what these arsons have to do with you.
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine the current demand for housing?
So that's your explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybills.
We found a family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian Fields flyer. Our information is that they didn't want to sell.
Are you saying that's something to do with me? Is that your point?
Point is, every time we find a family barbecued, we find one of your flyers. Is that good advertising?
What do you know about a competition for families to win free vacations to Catalina Island?
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that one.
Level with me, Mr. Monroe. You know all about the vacation offers.
You can believe whatever you like, son. You're missing the vital ingredient called proof.
No, I'm not. Your face is on those flyers. You must know.
Your face is all over the flyers, Mr. Monroe. You know about the prizes, and you're aware that they get given to holdouts.
My face is the brand. It's on all our advertising.
Look at that mug.
Did you know that the mayor and the chief of police are part of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund? You want to accuse them of murder as well?
Maybe that's why this case is so troublesome. Look at that mug. You need that to sell all those houses. People love that face.
We've made offers to buy houses in areas where fires have been recorded.
Are you suggesting that I'm burning people out of their homes?
Yes.
So that I can sell them new
Yes.
ones?
What happens to your plans if a family like the Morellis refuses to sell?
We work around them. Business finds a way. That's the American way.
And that way is setting their houses on fire, so they have no choice but to sell.
Come on, Mr. Monroe. You expect me to believe that you would build a new development with one of those old piles smack bang in the center of it?
Progress is an inexorable process, detective. Those who choose to stand in defiance are usually confined to the wastebasket of history. To answer your question, yes, we would build around them if we had to. Most people see sense.
What's Elysian Fields' involvement in Rancho Escondido?
One of our latest housing developments. It was due to open on the weekend, or was before the unfortunate conflagration.
It met with building code regulation.
Absolutely. Only the best for our returning heroes.
Oh, fuck you.
You're lying, Monroe. There's something out of kilter about that development.
Son, I've had enough of you and your fidgety friend. There's no way in hell you can prove that my materials were inferior.
Except I can, because I found them.
I'm no expert, but I think we'll find that the bricks being used on those houses are undersized and the mortar is faulty.
And there's no wall ties connecting the masonry to the frame.
Every building is built to a budget, boys. Those buildings were inspected and fully insured by California Fire and Life. Investment of that magnitude demands it. Do you think that they'd vouch for the buildings without examining them?
Yeah, I do think that.
The arsonists. Do you have any suspects?
We aren't at liberty to say.
I didn't think so. The contractors I use for waybills. Do you suppose it could be any of them? I have a list of their names if it'd be of any help.
That would be very helpful, Mr. Monroe.
Glad to hear it. I'm always happy to help the LAPD. My secretary will provide you with that list. Did you know that I'm on the board of the police pension fund?
Fuck off, Leland.
Glad to be of help, officers.
What's the story? Any of these names ring a bell?
Chapman.
Herbert Chapman is on this list.
Find the phone. We need to know where we're at with Chapman.
Sure thing. But yes, I do think that California Fire and Life would insure these buildings for no reason.
boss is a fine
That is, if they were in on whatever the hell's happening here.
Worked that case with a lady cut up like the Dahlia.
That son of a bitch looks a lot like
Just
a
use
cop.
whoever's phone this is.
Putting you through now.
What's he waiting for?
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I
My
help,
wife
detective?
is so dumb. She stares at
Can you check whether we are still holding a Herbert Chapman?
Let me find out for you. He was released this morning, detective. I'm sorry, Detective.
It's not your fault. Can you give me a last known address and put out an APB on the guy?
I'll get back to you, Detective. APB will go out over KGPL shortly.
Thanks, ma'am.
All right, let's go catch this weirdo. This is the guy that really liked the fires. Old Seth Green, the matchbook and the cigarette in it. We'll have to find out what his connection is to all this.
Till the minute I win it, a beautiful face.
What a lovely evening. What could possibly spoil this right now? Except this motherfucker.
Baby, I'll bill it, 'cause I always kill the things I love.
Buy me a drink, Cole? No. Not even for
Fuck
old time's
you.
sake. Not even for that. You're not gonna ask me why I'm here? I wouldn't give you the pleasure. We'll get around to it.
She's in fine voice this evening. I wonder how the commander would feel
Save the
about...
threats for someone who cares about them, Roy.
You're breaking my heart, Cole. You know how I feel about you. Stay away from Elysian Fields.
I should have known that you were playing errand boy.
You and your doofus partner. You have been warned.
Thanks for your cooperation, officer.
I love you.
Stay away. You have no idea the type of people that are involved in that company.
I have a pretty good idea, Roy. The same kind of people that sent you here.
Your investigation is finished. Homicide will be taking over from here. I've heard we've had a spate of grass fires in the hills that you and that hunchback might be able to handle. Thanks for the drink, Cole.
Eat a dick, Roy.
You get the message about Monroe?
Yeah. Earl delivered it. You?
McKelty. He started making noises about my pension.
Sorry about that, Herschel. I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Save it, Phelps. Monroe's an asswipe. And so was Earl. And so was McKelty when it's all said and done.
You're all right, Biggs.
11K, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Does our car code never change throughout all the deaths? 11 King was Roy's car for sure. I can't remember if it was Biggs and Stefan's car as well. Or whatever.
Last known address of suspect Herbert Chapman is 623 North Kingsley Drive in Wilshire.
Roger that, KGPL. 11K en route.
Let's go pick him up.
All right.
You fought at
Let's go get the creepy fuck.
I did. But I don't like to talk about it.
You come across a guy called Jack Kelso out that way?
You know Jack Kelso?
He's an insurance investigator over at California Fire and Life. Our paths cross from time to time. For some reason, seeing you makes me think of him.
Has Jack spoken to you about his experiences on Sugarloaf? Or the rest of the campaign?
Jack keeps stum just like you do. I know what it feels like to get back from conflict. You gotta respect that.
Oh, that's a good conversation right there. So Herschel's met Jack before. That's actually very helpful. And he says that Cole reminds him of Kelso. Maybe they're more alike than they'd like to admit.
He sure can play these drums.
Although it is becoming very clear why it is that Kelso isn't a huge fan of Cole. Or why everyone wasn't a huge fan of Cole. Cole comes off as a huge asshole in all those flashbacks. Glory-seeking. Just kind of a jerk. Also doing things by the book to a detriment. Like in the cutscene we got before this episode. For this case. Oh, that could have been a lot worse. Cole was, falling behind on whatever the mission was. They're clearing out houses or whatever, areas. And all those other soldiers are like, I don't want to fucking work under Phelps, he's bad luck. I think even earlier someone called him like the shadow of death. And how far away is this fuck's apartment? We're here. And I, like, blew out one of Herschel's freaking headlights.
We're looking for Herbert Chapman.
I'm looking for him, too. I need him to move his car so I can mow the lawn.
He's definitely not here.
I've been banging on his door off and on for a couple of hours. Yeah, he's out somewhere. Is there some kind of problem?
Let's take a look at the car.
Let's see what he's hauling around.
Wow. What a shock. He has mosquito coils.
Motive, opportunity, and hard evidence.
He also has bullets. Bennington.
We should revise the APB. He's clearly armed.
And probably dangerous. And look at this big box of Elysian field flyers he has. Why does he have this?
Definitely gives him opportunity.
Oh, that's right. He's connected for some reason.
Holy cow. There he is. It's Chapman. He's coming out of the laundromat. Shit. He's seen us.
Cops. Again.
Oh god, it's one of the best reactions.
Son of a bitch, you must have got the trolley.
Just pulls out a
gotta move
gun
fast, Cole.
and gets on the tram.
I'll call
Alright, this is
in,
one
get
of the
some cars
crazier
dispatched.
chases.
Car 11K calling KGPL. 11K requesting assistance. In pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar, currently heading east on Melrose Avenue. Advise all units. Suspect is in control of car and driving dangerously.
Roger, 11K, all units, officers need assistance on Melrose Avenue. The suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar headed eastbound. Approach with caution. Suspect is in control of the streetcar and driving dangerously. Units 3 on code 3 identified.
Stay on his ass, Cole. Don't lose him.
Look at him plow through all these cars. Alright, Biggs should be getting his gun out. There's really no way to stop it with my car.
See if he can damage one of the wheels. Might act like a brake and slow the thing down.
Alright, I'll try to get you closer.
Don't go to sleep. I've been getting close. Hold him tight, Cole. As soon as he gets...
There we go. Good job, Herschel.
End of the line, you little prick. Come on, Cole.
Oh, he good shot Biggs, you motherfucker.
Looks like we have our man, Cole. Well done.
I'm not so sure. Chapman seemed to have his own agenda. There seems to be more to this than a personal vendetta.
What are you talking about?
The fires benefit Elysian in some way. I don't see Chapman and Monroe working together.
You have a point. The evidence is good for Chapman. It's hard to be worrying about his side of the story when he's blasting away with that big 45.
Nice work, gentlemen. Put yourself at considerable risk stopping that trolley and probably saved a lot of lives. Anyone else but you, Phelps, and you'd be up for a bravery award. We've had our eyes on that slippery son of a bitch Chapman for as long as I can remember. I couldn't be happier than to wipe him off the scoreboard. I hope this puts to bed that crazy stuff you had going about Leland Monroe. What were you thinking, Phelps? We'll be calling Richard Nixon a crook next.
Ooh.
What is it?
A letter from Lou. His insurance policy named me beneficiary.
California Fire and Life. You worked for Elysian?
The roof that he was working on collapsed.
It's a very generous settlement. Elsa, I'd like you to do something for me. I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
What has that got to do with Lou?
I want you to reject this settlement. I want you to go and see an investigator named Jack Kelso and ask him to make some inquiries about Lou's case.
Isn't this police work?
Do you want to find out what happened to Lou?
Why would he help, this Kelso?
Jack won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He's a friend of yours?
He hates my guts. Elsa, you could take this money and let them get away with it, or we could get Jack's help and do something about it.
Why not be honest with this man, Cole? He deserves your honesty if you want his help.
Believe me, Elsa, I'd like to level with him. I really would, but it's too late. Years too late.
Why is he still wearing his wedding ring? That's a really interesting detail. I feel like they want you to notice that, but I don't have an answer as to why. Alright, 5 stars. Chapman takes his motive and any possible ties to Monroe and Elysian Fields to the grave. Let me see if I can get an alternate case note. There is one alternate one. Leland Monroe will never face a charge, but a fistful of evidence might have got his attention. So I guess that's if you just do a subpar job. Alright, before we get to trivia, I will try my best to connect the dots here with that final cutscene. Lou is Elsa's best friend, or he was. Elsa had a really good friend who I believe she survived the war with while in Germany, who died recently in some sort of accident relating to housing development. This is the cutscene where she was crying in the back room of the Blue Room right after we did the final traffic case, where Earl Royal invites Phelps, and Pierogies to have a drink. They go backstage and they meet Elsa for the first time, and Roy slaps her, and Harlan Fontaine's like shooting her up with some drug or something. So during that conversation, when she's all like crying and hysterical, she's angry at Harlan Fontaine because she has just found out about Lou's death, and she's blaming Harlan because it's like, you said it was construction work. Apparently, Lou died working on one of these housing developments that he was referred to by Harlan Fontaine, and we know Fontaine's all super dirty because for one, he's involved with Courtney and the morphine, and two, we know he's involved with this Ira dude who's burning down the houses. So it all stinks to high heaven. And now Cole's kind of piecing this sorted together, and he's like, okay, listen, we have an in here. If you go to California Fire and Life and you find Kelso's job is to investigate claims with California Fire and Life, and you deny the settlement, and you ask him to investigate, he might find what's going on here, and knowing Kelso, he will not let it go, and because Kelso's a good dude, he'll look into all of this, and we can maybe blow this whole case wide open. So that's what's going on. Now we can get to our trivia. Let's see. Leland Monroe is played by John Noble, a star known for Fringe, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, Sleepy Hollow, and Running Scared. Rancho Escondido can be seen intact prior to this case during the homicide or vice free roam modes. While many of the homes and buildings in the game's recreation of LA are finely detailed, it's interesting to note that the homes of Rancho Escondido appear less detailed, very much in keeping with the idea of them being poorly constructed. Okay, so unlike what we heard in the last trivia, where like some of the houses that we already just investigated in the first case, technically they were already burnt down on the map, and they have been for months because of corner cutting. That does not seem to be the case with this neighborhood. That's a good detail. McKelty compares rousting Leland Monroe to calling Nixon a criminal, a tongue-in-cheek reference to the Watergate scandal of 1972 to 1974. Nixon reached national prominence as a U.S. representative from California in 1948, with his involvement in the House Un-American Activities Committee. At the time, nobody thought he was a crook, because at the time, he was not a crook. He became a crook later, when he was president. While the ammo in Chapman's trunk claimed to be a 45 ACP or auto rounds, the pistol he pulls out is a revolver. The issue is that the 45 auto rounds have a small rim and are very difficult to extract from a revolver cylinder, which are typically made for a larger round called a 45 long, without moon clips, a type of speed reloader clip for revolvers. Also, the only commonly available revolver built to take the 45 ACP rounds was the M1917, a substitute for short supply of M1911s, which does look arguably similar to the one Chapman removes from his jacket. There's always gun inconsistency in video games. Every fucking game. Anytime you get into specific gun models and rounds, every game manages to fuck it up unless you got someone whose specific job is to get that stuff correct, which does not happen often. All right, when we pick up next time, we get a little bit closer to the center of this controversy, to the heart of the matter, and we find out, hopefully, just what it is that California Fire and Life can find out about this Lou fellow's death. See you all in the next one.